Understanding means standing under something, or we can assume that there is an individual under a stand, and the activity right now is under a stand, somebody's there, so we call it understanding. Here, my dear friends, as we discussed previously, knowledge forms the basic for understanding. Understanding forms the basic for wisdom, which is right now under discussion. I have tried to highlight understanding as knowledge internalized. Knowledge internalized is understanding. But when the internalized knowledge is externalized and applied and successfully applied and proven as a successful formula without having the barriers of time and space, without the age and stage and gauge, when it becomes applicable, or when the understanding becomes applicable everywhere, universally applicable, probably I would call it as wisdom. There is a very, very fine line between understanding and wisdom. But I tell you one thing, wisdom is like the sunlight. It comes out on its own. It is independent. Why? Because it brings the final product. It is the finality. When I say it is the final product, means it becomes usable. Consumer will be in a position to get it, set it, test it, and how it practiced. And the performance is almost guaranteed. Mahatma Gandhi struck with an idea of non-violence, and he started his movements related to freedom, related to non-cooperation. And can you imagine, my dear friends, he was in a position to bring freedom as he thought about, not for himself, but for the entire India as a country. When I say entire India, Bangladesh today, Pakistan today, and India as it is today, all are included. So you can imagine the billions and billions of people understanding the concept of non-violent movement, and then experimenting it, testing it, setting it, and getting it also. They started following it, putting things into practice, and this leads to setting trends, setting traditions, and setting things for better. When Knowledge and understanding are used for setting things for better, not only for one person, not only for one district or state or one country, but everywhere you can imagine. We call it as wisdom. Wisdom pills are not available. They are neither saleable nor purchasable. But wisdom also plays a major role when it comes to implementation. When we say a burnt child dreads fire, fantastic. It's the understanding of the child that makes it think twice before having a finger touch of fire. This is nothing but understanding. But when the same child informs the other classmate, look, it happened like this, so don't try and experiment with fire. Wonderful. And then the word spreads and the world becomes one world, just one world. That is why Mahatma Gandhi was known as the father of the nation. I haven't heard anybody being known as the father of the nation before Mahatma Gandhi was known as the father of the nation. He proved it. He didn't have pockets in his dress. He didn't have money with him, but he had mind. He had mind with wisdom. The point is wisdom. So wisdom is nothing but fully filtered understanding. The final destination for understanding. But when an understanding is made public, it becomes easier for people to follow the understanding if it's free. Why should there be a visa for the breeze to flow from one country to the other? Can we stamp the breeze flowing from the border of country X to country Y? Similarly, the water from the rivers flow. Similarly, the boundaries of the oceans touch many, many countries. The sky is one. Wisdom is one. Why? Because wisdom is the highest state of affairs in the linkages of data, information, knowledge, understanding, and the highest level of the pyramid is wisdom. Now, this wisdom has its own dignity, has its own spirit, and has its own bias existence. The more we try and make it free, the more it will blossom. The more it will blossom, the more it will touch the people. And this is wisdom, my dear friends. Whosoever touches it gets gold. Means it's a kind of a Midas touch. It's a kind of a Midas touch. If the understanding spreads, happiness has to spread. If wisdom spreads, happiness is guaranteed. Guaranteed. But there are different aspects. A friend of mine who is a doctor, and he is famous for his medicines related to headaches. Anyone feeling a headache would go and talk to him, "Doc, please." And the doctor would tell him, 3 doses today, 2 doses tomorrow, and 2 more yet another day. Then you are cured, my dear friend. And it happens. I've seen it. One fine morning, when I was sitting at his bungalow and he was puffing a cigarette, he had his son coming to him, crying and complaining about his headache. And the doc said, "Look, for others, if I cure the headache with 7 doses, why can't I give him all the 7 doses in just 1 dose? Because he's my son." I believe the things are very clear to you. The things are very clear to you. Out of the love, if he does so, well, this will do more of the harm. So one has to be very, very cautious, even while exercising love. It shouldn't be harmful. So wisdom, when spreads with an element of what not to do. Everybody knows what to do, how to do, when to do. The doctor gives the medicine, explaining the dosage, how much to take, when to take, and how many doses to take every day, and in what way also. But here comes wisdom. Not to do it more. And my dear friends, wisdom is something which narrates, which tells you not just what to do, but what not to do. And not many understanding would give you this element. Not many different types of understanding would give you this element. Most of the understandings give us an idea how to do it. But when we come to know how not to do it, why not to do it, and with whom not to do it, with what not to do it, probably the entire gamut, the entire range expands, and we are with a newer horizon of a visionary element coming up on our minds, and that is wisdom. Wisdom is not getting this and not getting that and doing this or doing that. It is what not to do. I believe for this, observations are necessary, experiments are necessary, even sometimes People fail in experiments. That is what an experiment is all about. But experiments do give us a result. Don't do it this way. This way, it won't work. And that becomes a wisdom. After having treated so many patients, the doctor come to know that this way, if we take the medicine, it won't work. So let's try and do it this way. One after the other, the experiments take place, and that which comes out as the ultimate benevolent. The word benevolent is very, very important. When I come out of myself only and I think of each and everybody connected in this entire cosmic range, and when I think of everybody together, सर्वेत्र सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात्. Nobody in the world should be unhappy. And then wisdom is going to spread like a wildfire. My dear friends, Mahatma Gandhi is the biggest destination, not the milestone, not the milestone, not the milestone. Because a milestone is there on the road. Suppose I'm going to go to Mumbai. There is a milestone stating that Mumbai 42 kilometers. No, that is not my destination. Because a milestone is there giving a signal. You are 42 kilometers away. Man, you are on the right track. Go ahead. But that is not Mumbai. So I cannot get down there. And there is the milestone. I give it a hug. Hi, Mumbai, 42 kilometers. I'm here. Now I've got it. No. It's just a milestone. We are talking about the destination. And Mahatma Gandhi gave us the destination. And he gave us an entirely revolutionized concept. When you have the guns and bullets on the other part of the scene, when you have the tanks and all other different armory, and in those days, whatever was the latest in form of equipment. And Mahatma Gandhi, without even a baton in his hand, without even a proper upper body clothing, he was there. Only one concept was with him. Was the concept visible? The answer is no. And still, he was very, very effective. He made an impression on each and everybody with his transparency, with his innocence, and with his loyalty, as well as the way he presented the arguments. Why this and why not that? Because there were people all over India who were willing to have freedom using power, because everybody believed that in those days, power needs to be confronted with power. And one of the wrestlers goes to Mahatma Gandhi and asks him, how do you believe you are going to defeat the rulers? And Mahatma says, How do you defeat your opponent? It was a question. The wrestler said, it's very simple. I would play the tricks that my opponent doesn't know. And Mahatma said, that is exactly what I'm doing. The trick that I'm playing, the opposition doesn't know anything about it. So it is very clear that he was against losing a drop of blood from any side in the world. He always believed that it is his concept of nonviolence, which wasn't seen, which wasn't touchable as such in those days. Even today, the concepts do not have a body. And that is what understanding is all about. Understanding doesn't have a physical existence. It doesn't have a body, but it becomes universally applicable. And in most cases, it becomes universally applicable when the motive behind it is related to benevolence, creation of employment, creation of enrichment, newer paths, and innovation. And you will see wisdom coming into play. My heart states that I have to give you all the best wishes for your wisdom to spread all over the world until the time we meet again. Have a nice time.